It doesn't matter what you do. Just make yourself useful somewhere. Be good at something that you really appreciate. Who am I? Professionally, I'm a musician. I conduct orchestras. That is, I stand in front of a group of musicians and move my arms and make all kinds of gestures, hoping for something good to happen. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Like in life. But something has happened to me. Coming from this music making world, I was asked to speak to some business people, and to my great amazement, not only they understood very well what we as musicians do, they also had a language for that. So I found that actually, if I listen to people from other walks of life, other businesses, other politicians, judges, army personnel, they had many interesting things to say about my profession. So that's what I do. I now speak to people about music making and other stuff, and trying to actually make people learn by observing and listening to other people. People have the same needs everywhere. You speak to the heads of Google, or the people working on the floor in a steel factory, or Supreme Court judges, or young officers in the army. They all basically need the same thing. All kinds of rules and regulations. I'm not saying always, but many times you find that people are rushing to fill up the gaps between themselves and their employees or their bosses with all kinds of, don't touch me, there is this rule that says that. So basically my mission, the way I see it, is not only to put a needle through all kinds of authoritative people that are full of themselves, and we all like to do that, but actually to present them with something that actually works, and said, hey, you don't have to be depending on this or that in order to get what you want. There are other ways, and music is simply a great metaphor, because you can see all styles of people working together in music, but it's also so concentrated, and you can hear everything. You can watch people actually communicating while they do it. So it's simply a good, I would say, non-threatening, all the people I speak to, non-threatening in the sense that they don't lose face if they say something ridiculous, because nothing is ridiculous. It's not their field. They don't, they're not obliged to know anything about it. So I find it a very good medium. And of course, once you take off those layers of importance and all that, again, you find that people are students in high school and generals in the army. They're just the same. I have enough experience to know that I don't know anything more than they do. But I'm not saying that in a way, again, you said credible. It's very important that one can actually believe, what's in front of them. And the thing is, the way I do it is the only way I know. I simply put forward things that I like, pieces of music and of people conducting orchestras and people playing together. And I watch them with other people. I don't tell them what they're going to see, and I don't explain anything, because funny enough, my explanation can go that far. But if I listen to them, speaking from completely, unmusical perspective, I'll simply understand something that I could never imagine myself. I love music. I studied music as a teenager. Then I went to the army. In my country, I live in Israel. It's compulsory. You had to go. I became an officer. So my first leadership, experiences were actually in a very different medium. But then when I started to study music and philosophy, and in the academy, I started realizing that your experiences are, you can transform them. You can take them from one field to another field. I think that was the most important thing that I learned. That if you become good in something, anything, and you have this positive experience of being able to lead people, I don't know, in sports or in music, or just to be beneficial to people and lead them, not by commanding them, but actually show them the way to something you believe is good, for the greater good of whatever, your family, society. And then you can take this experience and transform it to another field. It's really difficult. I know I can report better on what stopped me from being even more successful, which is the fact that I didn't want to invest all of myself in this one thing, which is a personal choice. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. But I was always looking to the side, seeing what else can be done. Maybe it's not good to be like that. I don't know. What made me good is my wish to connect to other people in a meaningful way. I think reaching out to people, maybe sometimes, on the verge of, just relax. I don't. But this is a personal need of me to be. To speak to someone, to be liked by them, which is maybe not the best mental makeup that you can, but it's something that you care about people, so you also want them to really understand you, really care about you, and so you put a lot of effort in that. I think that was my, still is, I hope, my effort. You have to be good at something, because the basic thing is that you have to build to yourself a positive self-image. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if that's your thing or the thing you already know that you want, which is always changing anyhow. But just make yourself useful somewhere. Be good at something something that you really appreciate. I mean, you're very good at doing stuff but something that you appreciate and really. Kind of collect good moments where you can remember how people reacted when you gave them some value, when you gave them some empathy, or this is the most important thing. Finding out what you want to do will come out of those positive experiences, because then it doesn't matter if you really like working for I don't know. A cafe making espressos, but you will maybe discover that you like conversation with people, or maybe you like to see how things in the kitchen can be made to work better. You find a better system. Maybe you look at the machine and you say, okay, but this I can build a better machine or improve. But you will find what you like through doing whatever. If you put yourself into it, and again, in a positive way, don't just persist with, but if you're working with people that put you down and give you better, and you say, I just want to persist and go, I don't think maybe it's a good idea. Do not persist at any cost. But if you find a good environment, even though it's not that thing you want to do, you will find through that what direction to take. First of all, there's a lot of time. Don't feel pressure. There's a lot of time, and sometimes when it's just you and you just kind of miss the whole year in school because you feel pressure. But this is everybody, so you don't even this is a good thing. I mean, everybody was missing out this year. It's not just you. So and it really doesn't matter. I mean, the fact that you start something a bit older. You go back to your preparation studies, or maybe you'll be more mature. it's not necessarily bad. Now I know it can sound very privileged because one has to make money for a living and this. I realize also the difficulties, but they are there anyhow. What I'm saying, do not just add all kinds of pressure and stress and guilt that you couldn't deal with it. Most of us couldn't. So you just pick it from wherever you left it and go on. Well, look at this. Can you see the painting behind me? It's by an Israeli woman painter whose name I've forgotten now. Oh, it's horrible. But it'll come back in a moment. This is it. I mean, you have to make sense of it. You know, there's no figure in it. There's no, there are other works of art. If you look at this is already immediately combining some, old. This is about something. Of course, again, the choice of but I want to look at this abstract painting and say, you are the one who's going to make sense of it. It's beautiful. It's deep. There are many things happening in it, but you have to sit and look at it. And one day it will look completely senseless, and you'll come back to look at it again. And if it's good art, I think you'll find that you collaborate with the artist in creating the meaning. You are the one making the meaning of your life, of the art you're watching, again, as a metaphor, for yourself. Nobody else is going to tell you what's the meaning of it. Don't go and find somebody, to tell you.